Though he was tight. I guess the game
so tight.
The game was working on Tayshia. It was, if you really listen closely, it was the wording of an addict. He mentioned cravings twice.
Yep.
He talks about he like guaranteed her we're gonna have struggles, and then and then at one point, this one was a little obvious, a little on the nose. He said he needs his rock.
Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to my good buddy, Real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Patrick, producer podcast over there behind my glasses.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah. Hope you guys are, doing whatever you're doing. Eating turkey, eating whatever. We're doing pizza tomorrow. How
you really?
sacrilegious is that?
Good for you.
I mean, we're not having a bunch of people over, so it's a filthy beverage. So do you want to talk about The Bachelor?
Oh, I'd love to.
I want to talk about pizza dough a little bit more.
Okay.
Bachelor.
Obviously the episode was fucking horrible, but before we get to the episode, we got to handle some PSAs straight out of the gate.
All right. Thank you, Dylan. The numbers on Patreon are going up. We are, I think at this minute, this hour, I believe we are 34 patrons away from our goal of getting your old lovable host Patty over here to shut the fuck up about selling that idea at Patreon.
Everybody wants it.
So the second you do that and get us to 500, the second you don't have to hear me eating up the first 5 minutes of every show of any property that we do.
Until we get another itch, we want to hit a new goal. It'll probably be coming right down the pike after.
That is a viable possibility.
It's merch after that.
yeah, who knows?
Buy our Wine Hag t-shirts. They're coming.
That's it.
Timely.
Just go over on there. Try and get it. Let us hit our number, please. Go over there, patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. We are throwing out a ton of hot pod. We just dropped the new episode of Below Deck from season 3. A lot of people love that. And
well,
we got
maybe not. I mean, it might be there. I don't think it's going to be there, but probably Friday or Saturday or something like that. It'll be there though.
We're never good with keeping timetables.
No, we always are pretty much.
Oh.
Okay, good that Pat is done. So let's get to our general thoughts. That's where we talk about the show generally, and just give our pedals, our pots, our knots, and our watts. Nick, why don't you go?
I said it last week.
Yeah.
This was paint by numbers Bachelorette.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing, no curveballs. Yet I stand in front of this painting and I contemplate my own life, and a single tear streams down my face. It's beautiful. This is really good Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Even in season 16, the formula's working. 82 pedals.
Pat?
You couldn't be more wrong, mon frere.
You can't tell me how a piece of art should make me feel. Continue.
I wholeheartedly disagree with your opinion and evaluation of that episode of the season.
No tears.
No tears. Yeah. Tears of pain.
Boredom.
Okay, so I'm gonna critique this episode, but also the arc of the entire season thus far.
Okay.
My wife got me on this thought a few episodes back when she said Tayshia's fake. Now at the time, I took that as an insult to Tayshia because I was like, people that are fake.
How could you not? Yeah.
That's not a nice thing to say about someone.
Right.
But what I picked up last night when we were talking about it, and what I think she really meant was, Tayshia is not being genuine. It doesn't mean she's a bad person. She's being what she thinks America wants her to be, which is nice to everyone.
Okay, so hang on. You're kind of like calculus here. There's a plane going over her head. You're saying that when Cherie said she was fake, she meant that she was not genuine.
That's precisely.
Got it.
Right. She using the wrong words. Maybe she should have picked up a thesaurus or something. I don't know. But anyway, I took it that way. So now, and I'm in that camp. Tayshia is delivering an extremely boring season because she doesn't want anybody to not like her. What she doesn't realize is we'll love you anyway. You can pretty much get away with murder. The editing will do a pretty good job to help you out with that.
Sure, as long as you're not Claire.
But being nice to guys that we know you think are psychopaths, like Blake and Gay Superman / / Bennett means now you're a liar and you're disingenuous and you're just trying to manipulate the audience.
Okay, so the season is not going to go well then.
I feel since Claire left, it's just gone downhill. Every episode gets worse. It's really boring. I think this was a real pathetic attempt to try and salvage a season that's not salvageable. I did the math. Matt James's season starts January 3rd. That's 4 weeks from now. We got the holidays. That means they got about 4 weeks to wrap all this up. There's not going to be any hometowns. There's not going to be any meet her parents.
Sure.
What are we doing here?
I'm worried that they're going to jam a couple 3.5-hour episodes down our fucking throats in the weeks coming up, because it does sound like they're in quite a bit of a hurry.
Honestly, Pat, if you give me your pedals.
No.
Let me wrap this up. Okay. That being said, what I am hoping for is Tayshia is a kissing bandit. I'm hoping she bangs one or two of the guys in the fantasy suites.
Fingers crossed.
And if I'm going to be honest, that's all I'm just waiting for at this point. Yeah. Who is she going to bang in the fantasy suites?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. And your pedals?
0.
I've enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be good, but you just struck fear in my heart. If we don't get to meet these people's families, we lose a lot here. Yeah. And that could really...
It's the best episode of every season. Yeah. Hands down.
That could really tank my... Although it's hit or miss, but mostly often than not delivers.
Mostly we run into Dean's father who lives in a van and just exists on carpets on the floor. Fun stuff like that.
But this fear could really tank my enjoyment of this season, which is really all that matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right, I'm not going to give thoughts.
Give some.
Okay, I thought this episode was horrendously boring. There were these dates where I was looking at the television going, do we need this? Does America need this right now? There's escapism, but this isn't the kind that I think anybody needs.
No, it's not what I signed up for. And so I was curious. I went on that web today to see how well the show's doing. I have the ratings for last week's show, not this week.
You mean the internet, right?
The internet,
okay,
right.
Got it.
5 million people watched it, which was a season high, but it's only episode 5, which was last week or perhaps the week before. I guess they don't have all the data in. 5 million people doesn't seem like a lot of people watching this show.
I think it says more about the death of network television.
Okay. All right, we have to get into the show. So we begin with Ben ruminating on one of the biggest regrets of his life. That is not making the most out of the gift that is Tayshia's time. How do you feel about Ben tonight? Because I think he's fucking annoying.
He's losing me.
Yeah.
I think he might have a little PTSD. Yeah. I was worried he was going to sneak through the window and slit her throat.
Okay. Love the troops. Support the troops.
Yeah, but just when he went on his little mission, he made it sound incredibly creepy.
Yeah, his secret mission.
Ben's losing me, but he is a good talker.
There's too much room in his mouth, spatially. You can see around the front of his molars. I don't like him one bit. Love the troops. Support the troops.
100%.
All right. Also, we continue with this bullshit narrative being shoved down our fucking throats that Noah, the teenage Noah, has somehow spit in the face of every single person on this show and every American watching this television program.
Oh, he jumped over the fence when he shouldn't have?
Why is this a thing? How is this?
It's a thing in his head.
It's a thing in production's head. Chris has to help this along. They're Svengalian all over the place. Like, hey, isn't that insane what Noah did? And these dumbasses are like, yeah, how dare he?
What is this? What is with this franchise and overblown fence jumps?
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, it's a pattern. Pick it up. All right, so Shitface walks in. He says, Noah, you got a rose on a date you weren't even on. This is what I'm talking about. He says, Tayshia likes bold. Chris, shut the fuck up. He sets up the group date, Nick and or Pat.
Yeah, I'll do it. Who's going on the group date?
Yeah, who's going on the group date?
Bennett, Ivan, Blake, Kenny, Riley, DeMar, and the Lisperer.
Got it. I missed that.
Glad he brought that back.
Yeah.
You know, the date is going to be writing a Song of Love for Tayshia contest.
Yes.
Can we fire the producers? This bit is so uninspired, so lacking in any creativity, and thus so lame. It has been done a million times. Yeah. I get it. You have limited places you can go. You know what I would have done? Make this show a little bit better and spice it up, because that's what we want to do. Make it enjoyable for the audience. Bring a bunch of Tayshia's friends to live with her, so they're all hanging out by the pool every day. Yeah. That's what producing does.
Then
right?
Some of the contestants bang some of her friends.
It might happen.
Look at that. Wow, that's fun.
And then you like financially incentivize them to get sexually active with one another.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you get kicked out of the house.
A little too far.
That's what I see.
So
There's a slew of MTV shows.
all right, so
that do
the
that.
guys are led into a room. Oh, the winner will receive a romantic one-on-one date with
Who
the
gives a fuck?
boldness addict herself. Okay, so the guys are led into a room with instruments, exotic and otherwise. The instruments range from a guitar to a trumpet to a handheld like Javanese marimba. Why are these laid on a table for these guys? Is Blake going to pick up a trumpet?
That's honestly what I was holding my breath for, that there was going to be one just savant in there that did a one-man band thing where he had them all going at the same time, and he's like, just blows her away.
Like Fred Willard on that organ.
Or someone on Venice Beach.
Right, exactly.
It would have been amazing. Hey, can I don't know if you guys caught this, but Tayshia, first off, I don't know how Tayshia sits here while these guys tell her how much they love her despite not knowing.
She's a pro.
Right. Well, she says, what girl wouldn't want to have a guy sing to her? And I don't know about a girl, but I know a certain guy who doesn't want girls singing to him.
That's true.
I think I've shared this story on this podcast once or another property, but I was once dating this very, very nice girl who was a singer-songwriter or whatever. One night out at my apartment, I think it was our third date, she picked up my guitar and proceeded to sing to me and try and make eye contact, which you know I'm not a fan of. And I'll just say this, I never picked up the phone again after that date. Don't sing to me.
The only way that could have gotten worse for Pat is if she tied him up.
That too, Nick.
And blindfolded him.
That would be a personal hell for me.
Back.
Yeah, and tried to serve him spicy food. I thought he was going to be like John C. Reilly in Step Brothers, like when she picked up the guitar. You're like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? It's my sixth string.
And held her nuts on him?
No.
That's what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
But going back to Pat's point about this date being uninspired, I think you've actually told that story 5 or 6 times, because you tell every time this type of date comes up, and this time they didn't even have Richard Marx.
Shit.
Yeah,
or
that's
anybody
true.
to help them along.
The star power of Marx is not there. It's non-existent.
They could have brought Chris and Bree back.
I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Okay.
What?
I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Call him gay, Chris.
No, that's offensive. I don't like that. A little meanwhile here, while the Dylan-like lyricists are scribbling away, the guys are sitting by the pool. The sexual deviant that is Easy says that she's looking for someone who's not worried about looking stupid. And this is when Ben takes a shot at Noah. He says, yeah, she doesn't want someone worried about looking stupid like Noah. Hey, Ben, you 7? Idiot.
You're lucky the kindergarten teacher isn't around. She'd tell you to stop being rude.
I mean, this is the kind of guy that like just bites on the fucking barb for producers. He has usurped Chasen as the most gullible person on this cast. He's just doing whatever they tell him.
You're saying Ben?
Bennett.
Ben.
Yeah.
Bennett.
No, Ben.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, Bennett is... He's a unique kind of flower. All right, let's get to the date. First up, we've got Zach on the cajon.
I first met you in late July. I caught some feelings I can't deny.
Great. Then we've got...
I liked it.
I love how he utilized the cajon. That could have been could have been like a storage container. Would have served the same purpose.
Could have been an empty box in the corner.
All right, then.
One of those trash cans. That's exactly what that would sound like.
Exactly. He could have stomped on the ground. Okay, Kenny is up next.
You put the T in my heart, you put the A in, let's start something, baby.
Great. Now we've got Blake up next.
Lucky there's no record executives milling about.
What do you mean, lucky? I wish they were in the back, picking America's Next Star. That was a bad joke.
It took some time to come around.
Okay. So, now I know why they put the instruments on the table. Now I know why. Riley was going to play no part of this. He delivers a eulogy instead of singing or picking up any instrument whatsoever. And then Bennett raps about eating brie, which I thought was pretty fucking hood of him.
I'm surprised when Kenny went up there, and maybe he did do this and they just didn't show it, but he just first sang a cover song And they're like, no, it's original songs. And he just like sang another cover song. And they're like, no, Getty. And he doesn't get the concept of an original song.
I thought you were going to say he brings out the Ron Burgundies who've been quarantining for 2 weeks. All right, Pat, any highlights?
No. No.
Okay.
Riley sings a song called Mocha Latte.
Oh no, that was tomorrow. I thought
tomorrow. Sorry.
I thought. Well, Ivan says that singing is one of his weaknesses, which is a weird weakness, and then goes up and does a little ditty. But DeMar, I thought, objectively delivered the winning performance.
He knew how to play an instrument.
He had a hook. He had star power. It had a mastery of the instrument, like you said. Yet the winner is the guy who just read off a page like a shitty open micer, but he did it in a cute way, so he wins. I was outraged. I had to turn the television off.
DeMar had what the kids are calling a bop. I mean, that was the jam, you know?
Did you learn that on TikTok?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
So Chris says, Ivan, your night is going to be a lot better than these guys. Hey, Birdman, why are you being such a prick tonight? He's so mean. All right.
Night date.
Ivan heads on over, and something beautiful happens. Quarantine has forced this show into actually setting up some normal dates for people. Ordering room service and playing board games. Are you kidding me? That's my dream.
Dylan, except for the board game part, I have to tell you. So when he walks in, she's already got a glass of Pinot in her hand. Right. Okay, I noticed that she likes the red wine. He likes the white wine. Okay. I thought it looked like a Chardonnay to me. So she says this is the kind of Friday nights that she will look forward to, whoever she picks. And this is my kind of girl, I have to say. A little Pinot, a little 48 Hours Mysteries or something like that.
She is a fake bitch, though.
Well, yes, she is. But in my right now, at this very moment in time, I like the idea of, I don't have to wine and dine you to 69. Yeah, I can just show up there.
Gross.
I don't have to take a coffee date with you or take you out to an expensive dinner and buy lobster or meet you at a bar where you'll be there with your friends so they can judge me. Just some vino and murder TV. How wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. One of my finest memories, my wife and I took a trip up the West Coast to the Columbus Gorge in Washington. It was the trip we actually fell in love on. We went to a Sasquatch Music Festival after 2 days of camping and just next to filthy hippies, one of whom was a former church counselor who I hadn't seen in many years, and he lit a bong for me using a magnifying glass in the sun. That actually happened. But after a few days, we left early and got a hotel room in Seattle. We ordered a pizza. We did some drugs. We watched the Battle of Blackwater live on a Sunday night and made love 1.5 times. It was pure bliss. Bliss. Okay.
That is a little disappointing, though I did know it was most likely rife with hippies. But the Gorge has some of the most stunning photos on Instagram
so
with the
beautiful.
Sunset behind it.
It's great.
Oh, man, it is picturesque. Have you seen this, Pat?
In photos, yeah.
Yeah, the only issue is that the only food they have is $17 chicken tenders, and the only alcohol they have is Bud Light, Budweiser, and Bud Light Lime. Those are also $17 a can.
What was your problem with all of that?
Okay, so the floor is lava, yeah?
Oh, my God. Last time I played this, it was the third grade gym class.
Yeah.
Hey, producers, why don't you do your fucking job? It's called producing, and by that I mean produce something entertaining. When I'm spending more time looking at our Patreon numbers than I am looking at the screen, it means you're fucking failing.
And who's you had more?
Oh, I was going to say, what's next up? They do a pillow fight and Twister. What will they do in their second date, producers? Build a fort? You fucking hacks.
Take it easy. He's on one.
I also was pissed at production because whose fucking idea was it to allow cushions to withstand the lava?
Sure.
I thought that was a real cop out.
I knew you would have that problem with it. I was thinking about texting you. All right, so we'll get into
stuff already on the floor.
We'll get into a little bit of where Ivan came from, but I don't think that they did this kind of cute Orange County bullshit in his neighborhood because he's like, what the fuck is going on? What are you doing? Okay. They start a pillow fight. Now, this can go wrong pretty quickly. Imagine if Jason was on this date. You know, someone gets overly competitive and she's got a broken nose. Thank God it was Ivan. Can you imagine if Nick was on this date?
Oh, I would have fucked her up.
Seriously.
Guys, before we get into the second part of their date that leans into a little bit more intensity.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. Tayshia is 100%, and we've discussed this many times, a producer's bachelorette. That's where the puppet masters are pulling the strings, and it's just her limp body flowing in the wind. I don't like that. I as much as I can't stand Claire Makes My Skin Crawly, you can tell by the name I'm not a fan. She was not a producer's puppet. She was very subversive in this process, and I think this show needed a little injection of someone kind of boffing. Is it the word boffing?
Boofing.
Not boofing. What is the word I'm looking for?
Boofing.
No.
Keistering.
I think we needed someone who was pushing back against the format of the show.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with shoving drugs up your ass. But, so
whether to get high or to conceal.
They play bocce, and I mean, this is a Dylan date. The only thing I love more than takeout and the floor is lava is bocce. So anyways, they begin eating a Joey Chestnut-sized sundae and begin talking about skin tone. They've not only not found their soul's counterpoint in another, but they haven't seen anyone that looks like them, around. Now, this is when they begin talking about their family. Ivan's dad is very, very old. Tayshia's dad is 40, which was insane. Did he have her when he was 13 years old?
Probably 16 or 17, maybe.
You think?
Yeah.
16, 17?
He's 40? Maybe he was 40 when he had her and there was a miss.
No, that was the whole thing of the...
He's 40 years old.
I think he was actually 45.
In his 40s, yeah. Wild. So anyways, they begin talking about the black experience in America. It's some horrific stuff that happened to Ivan's brother. Went to prison, couldn't see his daughter for the first couple of years of her life. Awful fucking stuff. But it got me thinking that it's a horrible episode, but this was a very, very touching moment. But also, this dude is solid as a rock. He is not Noah or Bennett. He has experienced very real highs and lows in life, and I imagine he's got a pretty grounded perspective, unlike, the Harvard grad line cook and or, the kid who's from a cult.
Well, I was going to say, I don't want to get too much into this, but his sad story that we always have to wait for while they're having dinner or whatever is, my grandmother's dying of cancer, or my mother's bipolar. In his case, his brother's a jailbird, which got me to thinking, if you think for one goddamn second, Tayshia, this little Orange County queen over here, is going to suit up with a guy who's got a brother that's a jailbird, I got a bridge to sell you.
Oh, really?
That ain't happening.
I think he's going to win.
No way.
Oh, come on.
I'm kind of not buying the relationship. I think she really, really likes him, but it's more of a brother-sister type relationship.
Okay, all
and
right.
they're gonna be tight after.
She's going to pick curls. She's going to pick curls.
Poodle hair.
Is that Zach you're saying?
No.
Brendan?
Brendan, yeah. Brendan. I mean, it's hard. We didn't get our usual time to pick a winner here. We were kind of thrust into it. So,
and I also wanted to say that I thought it was pretty selfish of production to go so serious to not allow us to really make jokes.
Yes. So
they have to know that some things should be discussed with us if it's going to so drastically change the course of our podcast.
Yeah, and they have our emails and our numbers, so I don't know why they didn't consult with us. But yes, they get into police violence and George Floyd, and we're huge allies, but we are white boys. And us commenting on the Black Lives Matter movement being explored on a dating show isn't the most productive thing I can think of. So
I don't know. I could solve it, but yeah.
You know what's interesting about this? There's a couple things out of this, and this might get me in trouble with the birdies, but I think if they think about it, they won't be offended. I think Tayshia, and what's kind of transpired over the last year, has kind of forced, again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm pretty sure Tayshia is going to do what she thinks the audience thinks she needs to do, not what she really wants to do. I think that her pick may be leaning towards what's happening culturally. In other words, Rachel Lindsay picked a white guy. She's the next black bachelorette. I think she feels that she has to pick a black guy. I don't think that there was anything necessarily fake about this interaction, but it's an interesting point. She probably is feeling the pressure of her station. Mm-hmm. And I also felt that The Bachelor had to acknowledge all these crazy events culturally that have been taking place, but they did it with although what they were saying was very intense, the way it was edited, they didn't really get too into it. They were basically just doing what a lot of us do, is like, whoa, shit is crazy.
Yeah. I think in terms of how poorly and campy they could have handled this, I thought they did a pretty decent job.
Yeah. Okay, after they go through this really intense discussion, they decide to sit down and watch old childhood videos of Tayshia. Another pet peeve of mine.
Why does she have them? You know?
It's pretty annoying. I remember probably 5th date with my wife, she whipped out her photo album.
Sure.
I had to sit there and look like I gave a shit.
Yeah.
Oh, there's you at 4 on a bicycle.
Hey.
How cute.
I think this guy needs to be on suicide watch because he's got a pretty dark heart tonight. Jesus Christ. All right.
I hate reminiscing.
Hey, can we get to Bennett?
Memories of yore.
Okay. Yes, Bennett, the 36-year-old line cook and the son of the cult leaders, Noah, get into a fight. Noah says that he wishes he was on the group date, and this really sets Bennett off. But the question is, who cares? Mm-hmm. You know? All right, group date.
Group date!
They essentially just read off the guys that were all on the group.
Yes,
the last
it was
group
odd.
date.
It was odd. Mm-hmm.
What happened there?
It's poor producing.
Something weird happened there. I'm not sure. I don't care to delve in any further, but that was bizarre. I don't think that's ever happened before. Tayshia's friends Sydney and former Bachelorette who needed an introduction, Becca Kufrin, appear, who, if you'll remember, was married to a guy who probably chucked a couple beer bottles at the wall watching that Ivan and Tayshia chat, I think.
As he sits there in his cop outfit from Party City.
Yeah, he's got a SWAT jacket on. All right, so.
You want to know who's on the date?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Blake, Riley, Bennett, DeMar, Kenny, and the Lisperer.
The Lisper is he's not a new addition. He played the Cajon. So Becca says that truth and daring are important in a relationship, which was a very forced intro for today's truth or dare date. This was so fun.
Oh, was it?
I didn't like it.
No, it was, I
was just bored. I don't like any of these guys. I mean, give me Curls, give me Ivan, give me some of the front runners, and let's cut the fat.
Yeah, but this
it's
was
only episode 7. That can't happen.
This was ripe for if the roles were reversed. But I'll let Pat take it if he's going to, or he's got something for it.
Oh, sure, I do. Guys, will you excuse me for a second? Hey, producers, excuse me. It's Pat from APB, Another Bachelor Podcast. I was just wondering if you were going to do your fucking job. Seriously, what did you do with the money that Mickey Mouse gave you? What'd you do with the money he paid you to produce this fucking show?
Oh.
Is everyone having a good time at home? Anyone laughing at this? Anybody enjoying this bit that they're doing?
Oh, you guys are in here? Yeah, I came in to say the same thing. That was me. That was the second knock, in case that was not clear.
This is horrible.
For a while, I was. Why do they have binoculars? Why couldn't they have just done this all right in front of them? What was the map?
Weird. It was so convoluted. It was so convoluted.
Do you want to do a breakdown of it?
Yeah, we've got the smoothie dare. Then we've got shitface sipping Vouv and eating desert crab. That's yummy. It took a while to get to Palm Springs, didn't it? But I think that we should probably get to this very bizarre portion where they have to scream orgasms over the loudspeakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who pitches this shit? We can go over a lot of the contestants' noises, but I think we should probably start with Kenny and Blake, right?
Sure.
Hotel phone.
Hey, fellas, really warm up those vocal cords. On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh! Oh!
Tayshia just fell down. She couldn't compose herself. She was laughing so hard.
I love this.
What is actually happening right now?
That's easy.
That's the sound of consensual sex there, Easy.
All right, that's enough.
It's the sound of a man screaming, actually.
Hey, baby birdies, let us all know how much you enjoyed this episode and that particular date in the comment section of the Facebook group, please.
I don't think we need to play Blake's noise, but it did get me thinking that I think making love to him would be a harrowing experience for a young lady. I think there'd be a couple moments where they were kind of taken out of the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the beginning of that clip, please leave this just a little bit ahead on. We heard Blake, when he heard what they had to do, go, ugh. I feel like that was a lot more authentic than what he did over the phone, and he really just kind of put it. He was acting once he knew the camera.
Yeah, he's a grunter. He sounds like a boar in the bedroom. And I mean B-O-A-R. Yeah. No, definitely not boring. More scary. But it reminds me of a famous clip that went around. You know, you always had those friends that sent you the dirty stuff. Mm-hmm. But we found one at music camp that we called Big Ben. It's this massive black guy having sex with this very old librarian. She's still got her glasses on and stuff. She's got like a blonde perm. She's very old. And he's banging away at her, and then he has an orgasm, and he starts screaming. So loud, and he starts shaking her body, and he goes, "God damn, bitch!" And she starts laughing. Okay, let's talk about the Bachelorette. Okay, so
proposal exercise. That's where they all have to propose to her. And once again, how she is able to sit through this looking like she's having a good time. She has some acting skills.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. Next up, some daytime television show.
Maybe.
All right, so let's get to the truth part of the date.
I do want to touch on one more thing they did. They had to have Chris Harrison sign their as Pat would say, asshole.
Yeah.
But he acted all shocked, like, "Oh my God, what do I have to do? Hey, producer of the show, no one's buying it. You're a creep, and you planned this.
Yeah,
we all know it."
Oh, there was a lot of acting on this.
Yeah, Chris was pretending like it wasn't tucked into his waistband. That was so crass of me.
Oh, God, can we Bachelor, just end this next week? And let's.
I love how they were signing their lower back, or what Pat would call the asshole. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, truth part of the date. Bennett says that when he got on one knee after eating a habanero, he was reminded of the weight of this process and the time he left a girl at the altar. Mm-hmm. I mean, I imagine that's what happened. Probably, right?
Or it was the girl he fell in love with off Seeking Arrangements who realized she didn't want to do this for the rest of her life.
Yeah, totally. So this was very Bachelorette formula. All of these interactions are talk, nod, talk, thank you for sharing, and make out. Literally every single one.
It was.
Carbon copies.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up is Blake there, which I found a new name for him. He's called Donkey Kong Chin. He asserts he had a great relationship with his exes. Yeah. Really, Blake? Do you remember just a few weeks ago what you admitted on a date with Claire about both your trauma? Remember the exercise was talk about past relationships and things that your ex called you. And the list that he listed off of words that he was called in relationships.
Is he wrong?
Do you know what's happening right now?
He's confusing Blake for Jason.
He's confusing Blake with Jason.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Yeah.
The one where they threw the thing against the wall.
Yeah, Wonderland.
It was outside.
Yeah, that wasn't Blake. That was Jason.
All right, cut this out.
Jason is quite a bit more athletic, though just as dumb.
No.
And scary.
No, far dumber. Far dumber than Blake.
True.
All right. So, any highlights before we get to Zach? Can we get to Zach?
Yes.
Tayshia says that she needs to get him to open up tonight. Tayshia, it's going to take a lot more than a jacuzzi to get Zach to a place where he's going to let you into where he was at mentally when he was contemplating selling his organs behind a dumpster. It's just not going to happen tonight.
Can I give you my thoughts on this Lisper?
Yeah.
I think he's a secret piece of shit. He comes off as a nice guy, kind of, I don't know, just your average Joe. But I think behind that veneer is a predator, mainly because of his height, skinny frame, flat face, and how he speaks. Most outsiders would probably just pin this guy as a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe just seeing him there, not knowing him.
7, yeah.
But he thinks a whole lot of himself, this character.
He's very tight tonight.
I think he's probably a manipulative womanizer, just a thought.
Though he was tight. I guess the game
was so tight.
The game was working on Tayshia. It was, if you really listen closely, it was the wording of an addict. He mentioned cravings twice. He talks about he like guaranteed her we're gonna have struggles, and then and then at one point, this one was a little obvious, a little on the nose. He said he needs his rock.
He said that, did he?
He did. He was talking about in his life.
Yeah.
He was very, very tight tonight. He was very, very chill. He interrupted Tayshia a couple times. And then, made all of those references to the fact that he's a fully drug addict. But I was just thinking, like, hey, Zach, are your britches a little too big? Huh? Are those britches not fitting?
Let me continue to shit on Tayshia, and forgive me, audience. This episode drove me so crazy.
Well, he gets a roast.
Yeah, he gets a roast.
He's tight as fuck,
While Tayshia is being a puppet, I'm pretty sure she's already picked the guy or whittled it down to 3. And now, but she's gonna once again give us what I've said she thinks the audience wants, but we don't want that. We want you to start rejecting some of these guys. Okay, you don't need to play the field like because as an audience member, I still have no idea who she's really kind of into.
Same.
Yeah, I know who she's really into. I don't really have a read on who she's definitely not into. I don't think she's into Bennett because who could be?
Not into Blake.
Not into Blake.
Did Blake go home? No,
he didn't. He's still there. But yeah, she's very nice to pretty much every single one of them. But one she was a little bit distant from was the brooding Army veteran Ben. But before we get to Ben, let's take a quick little break. Hear a word from our sponsors. Hey guys, let's take a quick break before we move on and talk a little bit about a little Magic Mind. It's the world's first productivity drink. Do you want more creativity, more flow, more energy, and less stress? Do not drink Bang in any of its iterations. Sour apple, birthday cake, volcanic orange, cotton candy surprise, whatever those flavors are, stay clear of them and go to magicmind.co to get the 2-ounce shot that contains 12 magical ingredients that are scientifically designed to improve your productivity, your energy, and your mood. You want those things increased? I mean, who wouldn't, right, Nikki?
I want those things increased. That's why I try to drink Bang, but instead I have incredible heart palpitations, and honestly, I snap at people.
Along with CEOs, doctors, musicians, and even Navy SEALs. Everybody drinks it who's, killing it.
Magic Mind, not Bang.
I fucking kill it. I drink it in the morning. It's the single most important part of my morning ritual to be able to do more and stress less while doing it.
It's not like the rise and grind mentality. It's the rise and just be mentality.
It's the warrior spirit. It's a calm detachment and a calm approach and a zen approach to everything that you encounter throughout your day.
You will accomplish your goals, but you won't be stressed if they don't happen now.
Yeah. Exactly.
In a sense.
It's an understanding of delayed gratification in a bottle. And it's not that expensive. You should go to magicmind.co. And listen, we have 2 dueling codes, like Double Dragon, okay?
This read, however, was identical. But we are going to give you the code right now for the program that you want to support. Are you a baby barnacle? Or are you a baby bird?
Yeah.
The only thing that will define whether or not you're a baby bird or a baby barnacle is whether or not you use this promo code.
That's promo code BACHELOR at magicmind.co to get 15% off. That's promo code BACHELOR. Do you want to be beat out by the baby birdies or the baby barnacles, whichever group you belong to, respectively? I don't think so. So head to magicmind.co and win this little competition we've got going on. The Double Dragon between our fan bases. All right, let's talk about Ben. He heads to Tayshia's suite, secret mission style. under the cover of darkness. He says that he hasn't done a secret mission in a couple of years, so he has butterflies. Now, I'm not kidding about that. I didn't misquote him. He actually said those words. Now, I was wondering, Ben, were you a Green Beret or something? And if you were, why are you equating this to a secret mission? This is fucking insane, the way that this guy is talking.
It creeped me out. Yeah. He was either comparing what he was about to do to Tayshia to a military mission, or he was referring to times that we don't know about when he stalked women outside their places. Either way, it's scary.
I haven't done a secret mission in a little bit.
Dylan, I don't know if you were just too focused on Ben heading over there in that secret mission thing, or you just didn't care. But Meathead Ed,
The latter.
simultaneously,
Definitely
has
the
the
latter.
same idea.
Right.
Okay, and once again, excuse me for a second.
Just like Batman showing up to save Harvey Dent.
Hey, producers of The Bachelor. Because this bit was so terrible and you were just playing it for a joke that Ed...
You got to turn that knock off, remember?
Yeah. Hey, producers.
Get in there. Now, Nick, let me cover this.
All right, you got it.
Hey, producers, because you're playing this as a joke, either both guys going on the same mission, why not put the Mission Impossible music as the better music to really make America laugh?
Dylan, you didn't even knock.
All the zany fun. What's going to happen when they both show up at the same time? Oh, what are you doing here? I don't know. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
What are you writing, an episode of Three's Company, you hacks?
Yeah.
This sucks. By the way, somehow Meathead Ed ends up at Chris Harrison's apartment at 2:30 in the morning. You really want us to think Chris Harrison was up at 2:30 in the morning with full makeup on? Go fuck yourselves.
I agree. All of it's cheap. All of it's campy. It's a little bit kind of made me laugh at Ed. Just the idea of Ed hanging out with Chris. But I don't know about you guys. When he opened the door and Chris Harrison was there, did you guys? I thought Chris was fucking Tayshia. I thought that's what was going on.
Oh, now we're talking.
And we blew the roof off this place.
Yeah.
And then
Who needs Dale when you've got shit face?
And then when Ed went in there and got comfortable, I thought Chris was gonna fuck Ed.
Yeah.
Chris,
you went on a real roller coaster ride.
I liked it. I want to go on the first part of that ride. Imagine if Meathead Ed's outside that window. He hears Harrison and Tasha is in there, and he's like, I really liked watching you kiss all those guys today.
Yeah, we got to move on.
Turn me on.
And maybe this is what happened.
Okay.
Ed was right. He went to Tasha's room. Chris Harrison opened the door. They were caught. But just like a sitcom, Tasha sprints across La Quinta into the other one. She's like, no, this was my place the whole time. And it's like, why do you have pictures of Chris Harrison's daughters on your nightstand? She's like, oh, we've grown very close. That's how I became the Bachelorette.
Can we please... I don't think that falls under the umbrella of nepotism. The person you're fucking.
Advancing because of relationships.
I think it has to be familial. But anyways, they are essentially family at this point. Just wrapping up this Ed thing. Did he say something anti-Semitic or something? Because they continue to beat the absolute shit out of this guy on their show. I don't know what's going on. They're so mean to him.
I think he locked his position or place at Bachelor in Paradise next summer.
I'm excited for that bet to pan out. Will he have a baby?
He'll have a baby. He's going to walk on the beach.
That's such a great bet.
And even money's right. Honestly,
yeah, I think
we
so
lined
too.
it right.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so Champagne drops by the room of Tayshia and Ben. Tayshia loops her arm around his, and he says, "Oh, is this how you do it?" Yuck. I know it's like nervous stuff, but oh, is this how you do it? What are you, Ben? What are you talking about? I can see the front of your molars. There's too much space in your mouth. Night date cockies.
Night date cockies.
Ben takes her first, pulls her over, and
As promised,
leads her to the couch, stops, takes a step back, and says that he just wants to remember it. Then he says that last night was the most nervous he's ever been in his life. It is this kind of hyperbole that makes me want to throw up.
I'm with you. I was like, hey, Ben, are you interviewing for Project Runway? Or are you trying to see her pussy? Fucking grow up hair.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What? He said he wanted to be bold. Jesus fucking Christ.
it did seem to be the theme of the evening, but
Yeah. This is a little too bold. All right, Noah steps up.
What do they do in Project Runway that had to do with?
We have not a second to spare talking about it. Noah steps up and commits the cardinal sin. He transforms into a filthy, gnawing fucking rat.
Ugh.
I love The Departed.
The Departed is a phenomenal film and would not be considered for Best Picture in 2024.
Now,
that's neither here nor there.
Now, Dylan, he's not only a narc, he's also a liar because he's conflating events to make create something that actually didn't take place.
He says the thing that really upsets him is that the guys are, quote, discrediting Tayshia's intentions by mocking his rose, and that he's not there to tell on anybody. What a fucking douchebag this kid is.
That's the equivalent of someone telling you, look, I don't want to be a dick right now.
Right.
And then that's followed by...
Sure. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I did ask Dylan to ship out something a month ago, and he didn't do it. Stephanie Wilder Taylor.
And then you throw someone under a bus.
Okay, so this kind of backfires a little bit because Taysh blows a freaking lid, and when the guys ask, what the fuck was that? All roads lead back to Noah. The guys attack Noah, and the most devastating blow comes from Bennett, who destroys him much in the same way the debate moderator crushed Billy in the academic decathlon.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I was like, Bennett, you don't get to hand out points. There's no points.
He would have failed that decathlon anyway.
And I don't want to don the TFC, but I fear that was plagiarism by Bennett.
Okay. So she cancels the rest of Cockies. Thanks for supporting me, guys. She cancels the rest of Cockies, and we head straight to the rose ceremony. Pat, I need a roll call.
Yeah, before I do want to say this about Tayshia. This was, once again, an acting performance. Oh, I need to muster up some serious anger now. And the way I'm going to teach these guys a lesson is I'm going to cancel the cocky hour.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. No drama there. No one gave a fuck.
Oh, great. I don't have to be up till 6 a.m.
That's just a first name. But yeah, I take the point. But, if a couple guys would have gotten a little bit more time, I think we wouldn't have lost so many good ones. And I think tonight we did lose some good ones. Pat?
Certainly we did. Oh, you want a roll call?
You get to a roll call. Ben.
All right, here's the roll call. Hit the music. Here's who's staying. Boring Ben. Easy, not too easy. Yeah, how's those sexual assault allegations going, you jerk? Riley, a serious dark horse. I really do think he's got a good shot.
Never going to happen.
Brandon, poodle hair. What's with the turtleneck? Did you bang a girl once and she told you it was hot? Ugh. Poodle hair. Patrick Bateman, that's what we're calling Bennett now. Producer pick. She thinks he's completely gross and a psychopath, but they're keeping him around because he's good TV. Blake, as I named him earlier, King Kong Chin. Why don't you climb up a ladder and do steroids, you asshole? DeMar, I got nothing. He's kind of a nice guy. Spencer, I need more Spence. Meathead Ed, definitely a producer pick. He's just kind of fun to watch because he's dumb.
Yep. I believe DeMar is the Soul Cycle instructor.
Oh, is that right?
So,
okay.
Just for future reference.
He's a nice guy, though. I like him.
Also, you left off one name in a huge suspects type twist. Ed gets the final rose.
Well, I said
Oh, no, you
Ed.
definitely did.
I said Meathead Ed.
So anyways.
Here's who's going home.
Yes.
Asian Joe. The boy band manager. The black guy with glasses. Never bothered to get to know his name. And
Leo.
then Chasen.
Yep. Now, obviously, Leo and Chasen are not good ones, but, I was swayed by social media last week. Joe took the Twitter sphere by storm, and I think that it's merited. I think Joe's probably a decent guy.
Yep.
He's got a solid job. He's got a solid bod.
Real.
Seems like a nice guy.
What is he doing on this show?
I don't know. I really have no idea. And I also found a soft spot in my heart for Kenny. Horrendous tattoos, horrendous career as a cover band manager, but a soft spot for him.
John took the Twitter sphere by storm?
Joe.
Yep.
He did?
Yep.
Spill the tea.
Well, I mean, people were, I think Lauren Zima tweeted, Joe has a job and something, else, and he's very hot. This competition is over, which was a funny tweet. It kind of took the Twitter sphere by storm. So yeah, I was kind of like, I get why Cherie thinks he's hot. I get why she thinks he's hot. Anesthesiologists make a fuck ton of money.
And were you joking and making up the name Leo?
Yes, his name's Jordan.
Okay.
I call him Leo because last week he said, I'm a Leo, so that means that I'm fiercely loyal.
That is horrible. That's a good nickname, and I'm sorry I forgot it.
That's okay. All right, we got to go get ready for Turkey Day tomorrow. We hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Remember, the Indians were slaughtered. Just remember that today.
But they also slaughtered each other to
exactly
just hold them up as a pedestal is also somewhat ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. So break off a couple legs. Have your favorite sides. We may get into some heated debate on APS, patreon.com/Another Podcast Network on our favorite sides, some Thanksgiving faux pas. Also, we've got Below Deck Season 3 there. We've got another podcast show. We'll break down a little bit of 90 Day Fiance. Go to patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. Patrick will shut up soon, and so will I. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.